Welcome to our fascinating journey to uncover the secrets of the sky. Have you ever gazed up at the sky and wondered why it appears blue? Is it just a coincidence, or is there a scientific explanation behind it? As we delve into this topic, you'll learn about the process of photosynthesis, which is closely related to the sky's color. You'll discover how light, carbon dioxide, and water come together to create the perfect conditions for photosynthesis to occur. By the end of this journey, you'll have a deeper understanding of the science behind the sky's blue hue and be able to appreciate its beauty even more. So, let's get started and explore the wonderful world of science. The book says, light, regular supply of water through xylem tissue and carbon dioxide through stomata are the features of leaf that facilitate photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is defined as the process during which carbon dioxide and water combine in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to form glucose, food, and oxygen. Carbon dioxide plus water plus sunlight energy food, glucose, plus oxygen. These sentences give us a glimpse into the world of photosynthesis and how it's essential for plants to produce their food. As we read through these lines, we can see that photosynthesis is a complex process that involves various factors, including light, water, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll. The equation for photosynthesis is also introduced, which shows us the reactants and products of this process. Now, let's think about how this process affects the color of the sky and how it's all connected. So, what does this mean for us? Photosynthesis is the process by which plants, algae, and some bacteria convert light energy from the sun into chemical energy in the form of glucose. This process is essential for life on Earth, as it provides the energy and organic compounds needed to support the food chain. When we think about the equation for photosynthesis, we can see that carbon dioxide and water are converted into glucose and oxygen using sunlight energy. This process is crucial for the survival of plants and, in turn, affects the color of the sky. Imagine a world without photosynthesis. It's a scary thought. Plants would not be able to produce their food, and the oxygen levels in the atmosphere would be drastically different. As we move forward, let's consider how this process impacts our daily lives and the world around us. The book says, the process of photosynthesis depends on the following factors: light. Photosynthesis requires energy for combining carbon dioxide and water to form glucose as food. Sunlight provides this energy. These sentences highlight the importance of light in the process of photosynthesis. Without sufficient light, photosynthesis cannot occur, and plants would not be able to produce their food. The book also mentions that sunlight provides the energy needed for photosynthesis to take place. This energy is then used to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. As we read through these lines, we can see that light is a critical factor in photosynthesis, and its intensity affects the rate of photosynthesis. Now, let's think about how this relates to the color of the sky and how it's all connected. So, how does light affect photosynthesis? The intensity of light is a critical factor in determining the rate of photosynthesis. When there's more light, photosynthesis occurs at a faster rate, and when there's less light, the rate of photosynthesis slows down. This makes sense, as plants need energy from sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. Imagine a plant growing in a sunny spot versus a plant growing in a shady spot. The plant in the sunny spot would be able to undergo photosynthesis at a much faster rate. As we consider the importance of light in photosynthesis, let's think about how this relates to the color of the sky and how it's all connected. How does the changing light throughout the day affect the color of the sky? And what role does photosynthesis play in this process? The book says, carbon dioxide. Air contains 0.35 to 0.4% carbon dioxide. If there is more amount of carbon dioxide in the environment, the rate of photosynthesis will be fast. These sentences introduce us to the importance of carbon dioxide in the process of photosynthesis. The book mentions that air contains a small percentage of carbon dioxide, which is essential for photosynthesis to occur. When there's more carbon dioxide in the environment, the rate of photosynthesis increases, as plants have more of the necessary reactants to produce glucose and oxygen. As we read through these lines, we can see that carbon dioxide is a critical factor in photosynthesis, and its concentration affects the rate of photosynthesis. Now, let's think about how this relates to the color of the sky and how it's all connected. So, what's the role of carbon dioxide in photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide is an essential reactant in the process of photosynthesis, as it provides the necessary carbon atoms for glucose production. The concentration of carbon dioxide in the environment affects the rate of photosynthesis, as plants need a certain amount of carbon dioxide to undergo photosynthesis. When there's more carbon dioxide, the rate of photosynthesis increases, but only up to a certain point. After that, the rate of photosynthesis remains constant, regardless of the carbon dioxide concentration. As we consider the importance of carbon dioxide in photosynthesis, let's think about how this relates to the color of the sky and how it's all connected. How does the changing carbon dioxide concentration affect the color of the sky, and what role does photosynthesis play in this process? The book says, the blades of leaves are flat and absorb maximum light required for photosynthesis. Thin blades of leaves make the light and carbon dioxide reach the internal parts easily. Thick layer of palisade mesophyll containing large number of chloroplasts just beneath the upper epidermis. These sentences describe the adaptations in leaf structure that facilitate photosynthesis. The book mentions that the flat shape of leaves allows them to absorb maximum light, which is essential for photosynthesis. The thin blades of leaves also allow light and carbon dioxide to reach the internal parts easily, making it easier for photosynthesis to occur. As we read through these lines, we can see that the structure of leaves is adapted to optimize photosynthesis, and this is crucial for the survival of plants. Now, let's think about how this relates to the color of the sky and how it's all connected. So, how does the structure of leaves affect photosynthesis? The flat shape of leaves allows them to absorb maximum light, which is essential for photosynthesis. The thin blades of leaves also allow light and carbon dioxide to reach the internal parts easily, making it easier for photosynthesis to occur. The presence of chloroplasts in the palisade mesophyll layer just beneath the upper epidermis is also crucial, as these organelles contain the pigment chlorophyll, which absorbs light energy for photosynthesis. As we consider the adaptations in leaf structure, let's think about how this relates to the color of the sky and how it's all connected. How does the structure of leaves affect the color of the sky, and what role does photosynthesis play in this process? The book says, glucose made during photosynthesis is converted into starch which is stored in different parts of the plant including leaves. The presence of starch in a leaf proves that photosynthesis takes place in the leaf. Iodine solution is yellow in color. These sentences introduce us to the concept of starch and its relationship with photosynthesis. The book mentions that glucose produced during photosynthesis is converted into starch, which is stored in different parts of the plant, including leaves. The presence of starch in a leaf is a clear indication that photosynthesis occurs in that leaf. As we read through these lines, we can see that starch is an important indicator of photosynthesis, and its presence can be detected using iodine solution. Now, let's think about how this relates to the color of the sky and how it's all connected. So, what's the relationship between starch and photosynthesis? Starch is a complex carbohydrate produced during photosynthesis, and its presence in leaves is a clear indication that photosynthesis occurs in those leaves. The iodine test is a simple and effective way to detect the presence of starch in leaves. When iodine solution is applied to a leaf, it turns blue if starch is present, indicating that photosynthesis has occurred in that leaf. As we consider the importance of starch in photosynthesis, let's think about how this relates to the color of the sky and how it's all connected. How does the production of starch during photosynthesis affect the color of the sky, and what role does photosynthesis play in this process? As we conclude our journey to uncover the secrets of the sky, let's recap the key points we've learned. We've explored the basics of photosynthesis, including the importance of light, carbon dioxide, and water. We've also delved into the adaptations in leaf structure that facilitate photosynthesis, such as the flat shape and thin blades of leaves. Additionally, We've learned about the role of starch in photosynthesis and how it can be detected using the iodine test. As we reflect on our learning, let's think about how this knowledge can be applied to our everyday lives. How can we use our understanding of photosynthesis to appreciate the beauty of the natural world and promote sustainability? What role can we play in protecting the environment and preserving the delicate balance of our ecosystem? As we move forward, let's remember the importance of photosynthesis and its impact on our world.